Carol. I am the owner and creator behind CarolJo's, which is where community and creativity come together in the jewelry and accessory making world. We do lots of fun things here. We have chats twice a week. That is where you get to ask any type of question about jewelry making. It is also where you get to learn different things about running a small business. Hi, Cheryl. Hey, Cheryl, I have a question for you. Do you want me to send that order out to you today and tomorrow's mail, or do you want me to hold it? Can you let me know? Hi, Rosie. How are you? And so hi, Trisha. So we do all kinds of chats. We have one scheduled for tomorrow night at 8 p.m. We also do, yes, all right, thank you for letting me know. We also do our tutorials where we show you how to create different things. Today is a tutorial, and we have, they're called lined harmony, because you got a line, harmony. That's what we're going to be creating tonight, is those earrings. So we're going to do those tonight. Then we also have tomorrow at 2 p.m. and Friday at 2 p.m. Central, we will have what we call a makers meetup. If you would like to come live and we just talk and chat while we are creating, that's what makers meetup is about. We also have live events, and that is where you can get items to add to your bead collection. We always have the collection because sometimes they're hard to part with, but we have those throughout the week. Our next one will be a silicone event on Tuesday at 2 p.m. And we will also have items that are debuting to the studio on Saturday at 10 a.m. So that's what we have for a schedule and what we do here. So I'm going to let you all know, if you could, I haven't seen Ashley come on the TikTok. I am live on TikTok and the Tube. So if you guys could please share out the live, post it to your stories, repost it so it can go out to the FYP, and let people know that we are live. Also, if we can do 10,000 on the likes up there, that will get us, yeah. I was thinking that's what it was because she left earlier. So if you guys can do that and then likes, we'll start doing giveaways. When we do tutorials, when I point down, I won't be able to see comments, especially from the tube, because I can't see when it's going down. So I'm not trying to ignore you. When we come up, I'll answer questions. I have a backup account, and I can do it on my tablet of TikTok, so sometimes I can catch those if I look at it. But before we get started pointing down, I'm going to let you guys know what you need for supplies and tools for this tutorial. So for supplies, you just need 6 or 8 millimeter size beads. Hi there. I don't go with because these are earrings, I don't use heavy beads. I decided with this one, I'm going to use the Gorgonias, which give us, I used glitter in these, and my next one will also have glitter. So you can see the glitter in those. I'm going to show you here on TT, and there you are on the tube. And so these are a high quality resin bead, and they're lightweight. So it gives you a bling without pulling on your ear. And you can have that drama looking, because if you look at this, see how those pop? See, I could wear this with this shirt if I wore dangly earrings. I do not. But that's what these are supposed to be, is one that can give you a pop, but yet be simple and elegant. And I think these do that trick. So tonight, those are 6 millimeters, and I used 5 of them. But tonight I am going to use 8 millimeter, and we're going to do it in these 3 shades. We have the dark purple, purple, and clear of the 8 millimeter cat eye Gorgonias. And so that's what we're going to use tonight. So you just need the beads. And then we are actually just going to make them with wire. This is the Bead Smith craft wire. I do not have wire on my studio, so you can get it wherever you get wire. You just need a 22 gauge wire for this project. I wouldn't go to a 20 because then the wire is going to be too heavy for them. If you want, you could possibly go to a 24. I don't like 24 as well because it bends easier. And I don't want my loops to bend with this project. I want them to have that space and stay there so that you get that break between each color. So when you're looking at these, you know, you're not going to have somebody right up in your face looking at these. But if you think about it, I am not that far away from the camera here. And you can't really see the loops, but you see that space so that you see each bead. Hi, Geraldine. And it just gives you that illusion that they're just suspended. And that's what we're looking for. So that is what I will suggest to use is the 22 gauge. Then for tools, you will need a flat nose plier, or this one is a chain nose plier, a round nose plier. Hi there, Kay. This one, you will notice I have a little black mark on it. The black mark is just a Sharpie. And that makes all of your loops consistent. So that's why I always put a black mark where I want that at. And we need a cutter. I'm just using a flush cutter. And then to measure out our wire to get them the size we want, a ruler. So those are the tools that you'll need. All right, everybody. Now we're going to have fun creating. So I'm going to point you all. Oh, I forgot one thing. They're earrings. We need earring wires. You can use the lever backs if you want. If you really like lever backs, you can use those. You can use the fish hook earrings. You could use the ones that are posts that have a little dangle on it so that they dangle down. You can use any type of ear wire that you want. I almost forgot the ear wire. Can't believe that. So I have right here, I have fish hook earring wires right by me all the time. So when I make earrings, I can just grab them. They're like the only thing I have not put in one of the trays. If you guys can believe that. I just have a bag. I always just reach for them. It's always been that way. So that's what you need. I can't believe it. I almost forgot the earring wires. Now I will put y'all down, okay? So we'll go this way. There you go on the tube. And here you go, TT. And you will see. I'm going to bring up my backup account so I can see where I'm pointed at. Well, let me move that over just a little bit. There we go. All right. First things first. You don't need any supplies on your mat yet. I cut all of my wire. You can make these as long or as short as you want them to be. With the 6 millimeters here, I did use 5 earrings. Or 5 beads on each earring. I could do that with these if I wanted. You know, I could do, my pattern could be clear, purple, dark purple, and then go purple, clear, and have 5 if I wanted. Or I could do 3. I was thinking I'm going to do 3 with this one. So I am going to cut 6 pieces of wire that is 2 inches long. So that's our first step, is just to cut our wire. Does it have to be exactly 2 inches? No. Close to 2 inches. So that's what I'm doing here, is I measured it, and I will use one just to create the rest sometimes. Sometimes I'll do it a couple of times. Do what you want. I just need 6 for this project. Need to straighten him. There we go. He was a little curvy. Get it down to the right end. There we go. And one more. There we go. I got 6. Gonna leave my wire off to the side. Gonna move my ruler because I don't need it anymore. Take one piece of the wire. And we're going to create a loop at the top of this. Remember I said I have a mark on my Sharpie for that? About a third of the way down from your piece of wire, put the wire on that mark. Gotta go up just a little bit. There we go. Bend it 90 degrees away from you. And now if you look at your tool sideways here, do you see how your tool lines up straight with that piece that's coming out? We are going to move your tool, keep it on the line, and put that tool 45 degrees in that angle. Take your finger with this piece that's going out, bring it around the top of your tool. You'll get to a part where it's like this. You want this bottom part to be at the top. So you release it and move it up. Take that shorter piece and make a loop. So there is our loop. The reason why you want to put that 45-degree angle in there is so that you get an O loop. If you don't, you get a D loop. Then I just use my round nose pliers. If you don't like to use your round nose plier because they don't hold well for you, then grab another pair of the chain nose plier. Wrap this around one time around that piece of wire that's coming down, like so. Thank you, Cece, for the heart me. Take your flush cutters and cut off that end, and you have a loop. I'm going to tell you, some people don't like to do that wrap around because it's hard for them. Some people, it's hard to make the loop. I tried using the one-step looper to do this as part of it to see if that would work for everybody to do that. The one-step looper does not work with this wire that I am using. So I have to do that wrap around to get everything to stay. So this is the technique to make these earrings that I found that work the best. I'm going to do all 6 of these and create my one loop on all 6. So I'm just going to do that once again, which is, and I'll explain it as soon as I'm done with this one because I didn't when I started. And there is also a video over on the tube that is called Dangle Earrings that has this technique from a different angle. So it's not sitting across from you. It is sitting, so you're sitting where I am sitting and can see it like as if you were going to do it. If that style of how to watch is easier, you can go ahead and watch that video. About a third of the way down, push it away from you so that it's 90 degrees. Reposition your tool so it's 45 degrees in that angle. Bring the short one around the top till it gets to a certain point. Move that round one up to the top from the bottom and create a complete loop. Hold it with whatever plier you can use to hold it tight and wrap that around one time. Cut off the excess wire. We got 3 more to go here, so I'm going to do all 3. Third of the way down, 90 degrees away, reposition your tool, 45 degrees in that angle, bring it around the top round nose of the plier, bring the bottom round nose up to the top, create your loop, hold on to the loop, wrap your little end one time around. Cut off the end that's excess. That was number 4. Here we go. What's the question? Is it related to jewelry making? Thank you to everybody who has started following on TikTok. I appreciate it. I can't say them all because I can't see it. Go ahead and ask it. Then 90 degrees away, reposition, bring it around, move your tool, finish the circle, hold on to your loop and take this wire around one time. I can't do that. It's not related to beading or making jewelry. Here we go again. There, around, hold this, wrap it around. All 6 are done now. 3 will go on one earring wire and 3 will go on the other earring wire. I'm going to grab my beads. There's the 2 dark purple, the 2 purple, and the 2 clear. If you are on the tube and like what you're seeing, if you would please follow, or yeah, subscribe. That's the one. Subscribe. I would appreciate it. And then you can turn on notifications and get notified when we're going live. This is, or when I do a video. This is the dark purple. We put our bead on. We are going to, it's the bottom one, so I'm not adding one to it. We're going to put our pliers right on the top of this bead. We're going to do that same loop technique. 90 degrees away, 45 degrees is how we're going to turn our pliers. Bring this around to the top, reposition, and complete out that loop. Take your pliers off, grab the end. But before we do that, hold on. I almost forgot. We're going to need to grab, no, I won't have to. Never mind. Okay, we're going to grab this and spin it around. Had to stop and think for something for a second, and then cut this off. All right, where did there it is. I always want to make sure I get my ends and throw them away because you don't want to step on those. If this is not sitting straight up, it's going this way or this way, you can just take your tools and move it to where it needs to be. Next, we're going to do our light purple. Put it on the head pin, or not the head pin, on our wire. Put our pliers so they sit right on top of that bead, 90 degrees away. Reposition the tool, bring it around. Complete our circle. This is the first time we have a different step. We're going to take our tool off. We're going to open up this opening of that. So we're going to lift up our wire a little bit. Grab this bead here and put it on. We're now connecting the 2 beads. That's what I had to stop and think about when I was like closing up this one. Grab our end of our wire here. Wrap it around once till you get to the top of the bead, and then cut this off. We now have 2 beads of our earring connected. Going for our third one, we're going to put that wire, the bead on the wire. We are going to push it 90 degrees away after this is sitting on that bead. Reposition, bring it around. Take our tool out, open up that opening there, grab the light purple side and put that on, close it up, and then we're going to wrap that end around the wire here and cut off that little bit of an end. We will take our earring wire. The loop of an earring wire when it is a French, a fish wire, will have an opening on either the inside or the outside. Hello to everybody on YouTube. I cannot see comments very well right now, so I'm not trying to ignore you, but just know when we get done making this pair of earrings, I'll bring it up and I'll answer any questions. We open that up by going towards us. We'll add on our 3 bead links and then close this up, going back the opposite way. And we have an earring. I will show you up close what this is when I get done making the second one, everybody. We're going to do the same steps that we just did. Dark purple. Whoop, he wanted to hop off the wire. You need to get on there. Got that on there. My line is getting light from when we started. Before it gets too light, I want to know where it's at. So I'm going to get my Sharpie out and put my line back on. You have to do that throughout. We will then take and put our pliers sitting on the top of that bead, 90 degrees away. Reposition 45 with your tool. Bring it around the top. Reposition the tool. Create the end of that circle. This one, you just have to grab the circle loop and the pliers and just bring this wire around the main wire and cut off the end. There we go. Thank you for the follow. Once again, we've got the purple. We're going to push that 90 degrees away from us after we have it sitting on the purple bead. Reposition your tool and bring this around. Reposition so that the bottom of the tool goes to the top. We have our circle. It is already open, so I don't need to open it. Hold my horses because I didn't get it on there. We're going to put the light purple bead and link it with the dark purple. Then we're going to close up that circle. And then we are going to wrap this end around that bead. And we're going to cut off the end here. Last bead for this pair of earrings is the clear. Making our loop, just like we did all other 5 loops that we have here. Away. Reposition, bring it around, bring that to the top, finish the circle, open that up. On the light purple loop, put it on, close this up, and wrap it around. And then cut this off. We will grab our other earring wire, open it up by coming towards me, add our links to it with the one that you want at the top, close that up, and you have your other earring. Now I'm going to bring you guys up. If there was a question I missed, please let me know. Hi there, Everett. I'm going to take these 2 off of my thing, my display, and we're going to put these on. And there, I'm going to show TikTok first here. So we have, this is the dark purple, and clear of the 8mm glitter Gorgonia beads. There you go for everybody on the tube. Dark purple, clear. It gives you that ombre look. If you like the ombre look, that's what you can do here. I just think, okay, so when you have, so let's say you have dark hair like me. Let me show you. Can you see? I can see in the camera, I don't know if you guys can see, I see all three colors. When you have the dark hair, you could even go with the brighter colors of the Gorgonias. On purple, or I'm sorry, on the blonde hair, this blue is going to stand out if your hair is blonde. And so these are statement earrings just to give you a pop of color when you wear those. So I'm just going to put one of each earring on here so you can see. You get to decide how long you want them, how short you want them, the colors. You get to make it you, but it is a very big statement piece that isn't heavy. And it's because you can do it with the colors that you choose of your beads. You don't have to use Gorgonia beads with it. I just did because I thought that those Gorgonia beads would just pop because of the glitter. So the Gorgonia beads are a high quality resin bead, and I can grab some cat eye ones and we can make a pair of earrings even with the cat eye, because those would be stunning too. So they come in different finishes, if I want to call it that way. They have cat eye and they have glitter. But with the glitters can be different colors than the beads. Sometimes the glitter will be clear, so it looks like these are, so we got clear on this one. And if you notice, we have a blue in this one and then a darker blue. So these use different colors of glitter within them. You can have ones that are black, and the black ones will come with like green glitter, blue glitter, purple glitter, and it makes it look like it's out in a galaxy, out in the stars type thing. So they can change the glitter color, the color of the resin, and it turns out differently. They also have frosted ones too. And those are just, to me, muted. And there's a different type of the cat eye. We started getting some of those in the 6 millimeters, and those are out there. But I've got them in the 8 millimeters, and I just need to get them bagged up so that we can bring them to an event. And they're what they call cotton candy. The cotton candy they're not quite a matte, but they don't have as much of the cat eye holographic to it. I don't know how to explain it, but they are really cool when you get them into 8 millimeter. And so we'll be bringing different colors of those too. You can get them in different shapes than just the circle. So far we've had stars and bamboos that we've brought, but we have like irregular shaped. You can get, like, I think there's a moon shape, bear shape. There's lots of different shapes to them. And we're trying to bring in those and let you guys see them. They make your items just pop. Beryl, thank you. And it's just the different shapes are unique. But there are only certain places where you can get them. And that's what the hard part is. I will honestly tell you, I have reached out. Yes, squares. I forgot about the squares, the cubes. There's ovals. And I've reached out to the manufacturer of them, but they only deal with certain individuals. So I cannot get straight from the manufacturer. I have to use different vendors to get them. So, yep. And that's what we're here for, Rachel, is that we will explain lots of things to everybody so that we can all learn about it. This is a community about learning and being able to have access to some of it. And if I don't have access to it, there are others here that could have access to grow your bead collection. So it's about just having that full here. We are here for chat times, tutorials, everything. Nope, we do not. We do not gatekeep. So I'm going to grab, I have 6 millimeters here in the room with me of the cat eye. So I'm going to grab that container, and it's just a mix of what I had extras of when I've bagged things up. So I got to look and see what can we make with the cat eye. Here's the cat eye one. So we might be able to get some good ones in here. I'm going to spill them out and see what we got. So like here is a cat eye dark purple. And so there's the cat eye part of it. I'm going to show you over here, and there's the cat eye. And this is where I'm talking about in those ones that are like a cotton candy, this part isn't as vibrant. Yeah, they're shiny. Ooh, doo, 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 doo. We could do this blue. Well, one of them, yeah, they're blue. I've got 2 shades of blue in here. So I got the same one there. And we have a lilac color. We'll do that one. And what other color do I want to do in there? So when I talk about the colors that are more cotton candy, they're like these. You get 2 tones in some of them. Not all of them have the 2 tones. They have a little bit of it. Ooh, what if we went bright? Do I have another of the yellow? I don't have another yellow, so I can't. Oh, yep, there we go. I might go with a bright pair here, everybody, so that you can see different. They have different colors. They have different tones. They have dark ones, light ones. Okay, we're not going to go with the pastel-y colors. We're going with what I remember from, like, is it Anne Frank type colors, maybe? These, one of them dropped. I got it. So let me show you the colors here in a second. Hi, Bella, how are you? Hey, Patty. All right. We're going to do these 2 colors in a 6mm. They are bright. We're going to have some bright ones here. All right. Let me get, I'm going to hang up the earrings on the display here. I'm going to point you all down, and we're going to make a 5 bead one with the 6mm again, okay? I'm using the same pattern. You can make whatever pattern you want. It's just that I don't have like 5 different bright ones to put in there, or I don't have 3 different bright ones in this container. If I went downstairs where the beads are actually stored at, I would do different ones probably. But this is what we have in the room. All right. Do you guys see it here? That's going to be our pattern. So what do you guys think of those? They're bright. We're going to need to cut 10 pieces of that 2-inch wire. So I'm going to get this wire out there. All right. There's 2. I told you I don't cut wire the same way. Yes, it is. That's what I was trying to think of. What colors are they? Okay, there's 4 and 5. That's for one earring. I saw the yellow and the pink next to it when I spilt them out on my mat, and that's how I chose them. Oh, strawberry lemonade. I love that. I just saw that comment. There's 2, 3, 4. There's 5 for the second earring. All right. Wire and ruler are bye-bye. Thank you for the follow. Got our mark on our pliers. We're going to do all 10 of these. Move about 1/3 of the way down, away from you. Reposition, bring it around. Create that loop. Grab the other plier. And we're going to repeat this step for each wire. So we're going to do this step 9 more times. Okay. Whoop, he fell off my mat. Ooh, I didn't get that in there. There we go. Away, 45 position, move around the wire. You guys are probably going to get tired of me saying the steps. There we go. We got 2 out of 8. Thanks, Rachel, for the heart me. Round. And the one thing with doing the loop like this, if you make something where you have to repeat it, you will learn how to do that easier. So when I would teach this class in person, we would actually have everybody in the class make 5 pairs of earrings, because you're then going to remember the steps that we're doing here and doing that way. If you only did 1 pair of earrings with 1 loop, you're not going to remember it as much. So that's the thing is that don't think I'm just going to do 1 and be done, because that's going to be harder to remember. But the good thing is that I always record the tubes lives and have them out there so that you guys are able to go watch a replay. So these are out there by the title of what we have for the live. I will tell you, I started making jewelry in May of 2005. So almost 21 years ago. Normally they want you to do where I actually worked there where I learned from. And they usually have you take the earring class first and do the 10 earrings. And then they have a couple of different like levels to it, and you work your way up. And those of you that have been on here, you know the cha-cha bracelet that we've made. And that bracelet is usually something that's the advanced class for doing this. You use these dangles, you use head pins to do it. And that is a advanced class. When I went to sign up for that one, I was like, because I thought it was cool. They're like, you haven't learned. And I'm like, nope, I don't know how to do this. And they're like, oh boy. So I signed up in the wrong order. But the owner, it was a husband and wife were the owners. The husband taught me how to do stretchies. The wife taught me how to do this. And what I will tell you is I actually hold them in the wrong hand. So don't look at my hands and think that's the way to do it, because I was sitting across the table from her. Normally when you wrap around, if you're right-handed, you do that with your right hand. But because I was sitting across from her and I did it exactly as she did, I actually do the wrap with my left hand. So if it isn't comfortable for you to do the wrap in your left hand, do it in your right. And I don't think I've ever told anybody that. In all the times that I've been teaching you guys how to do loops. So yeah. And it was funny because Rosemary was her name. And she didn't realize that she taught it that way to me by sitting across from me. That it was like a week later when I went to do something else, and she looked at me and she's like, you're doing it in the wrong hands. You're a righty. And I'm like, well, I'm not reteaching myself. And also, for anybody who is new here, Zuli has not been on today that I know of, but Zuli Bayo Boutique, she has once a month where she usually has like 5 to 7 people help teach different techniques of jewelry making so that you can learn different things to make. And it's done, she coordinates the schedule, but you end up going and finding others that are here in the community and going to their lives to watch that. Thanks, Patty, for putting that in the chat. And that's the name that you want to look for to be able to do those. April 6th, that week, I believe it is when we'll have the next week of teaching. She usually does it the first full week of the month. We're going to put on 1 bead. Put this on here and then do that same technique that we just did 10 times. And we get our bottom one done here. Wrap that around. And you probably are wondering why I say one time around for that wrap. It just so happened that when I had my mark on here, on my tool, I need to redo it. You'll have to redo this as you're doing it. You need to put the mark on because it does come off. So I'm going to explain something about round nose pliers here for a moment. The smaller loop will be down here. Your larger loop will be here. The mark where I have it at, it just so happens that if you do that loop on both ends, that when you don't have a bead there and go around once, and then go to the other end where the bead is now at and wrap it around and get that wrap up against the bead, it actually equals to 1. It was a happy accident. I don't know the length. It really truly was a happy accident. I had the mark on there and I'm like, I'll see. And it worked out perfect. So we're going to go ahead, make our loop again. Open up that loop and put it on here. If you noticed, everybody, I opened this one up really wide. You want to try to not do that really wide because it makes it very hard for me to close it up when it's that wide. I got it there. It's not always easy, and your loop might get distorted. So don't open it very wide. Two of the 5 and the 1 earring is complete. I did it again. All right, got it down. Whew. I struggled earlier when I opened one up too wide. And the reason why it's easier for me to open them up wider is when I have head pins, they are harder to move than this wire. And so I'm thinking it's head pin gauged wire instead of this craft wire. And that's why I keep opening them too wide. Open it up, put on our chain links. We really truly, what we're doing here is we're creating a bead link chain because you got a bead in each of the links. Now we have 4 of the 5, and if you wanted, you could leave it at 4 if that's what you choose. I just have always been use odd numbers because it's more pleasing to the eye than odd numbers. So that is why we're going with 5 instead of 4. But if you want to do 4, you do 4. You get to do what you want with these. I'm just giving you the inspiration and an idea. There we go. There we go. Got that one. This is almost done. Now we're going to open up our loop on our earring wire. Not like if you would use a post or a lever back, the loop may or may not open. If it doesn't open before you complete this top one, just like when you're adding the link, you want to do the same thing and put that in there and then close it up. There is our neon colored 80s inspired coloring earring. So that's the first one. We're going to work on the second one, and then I'll show you what they look like on the display when we have both of them done. So we're going to start this one and put our bead on 90 degrees, reposition your tool, wrap that around as a loop on the tool, and then wrap this around. Thank you, Rachel, for the gift. Thank you, Emily, for saying that. These are just some fun, bold colored earrings that we are working on. Open that up. We're adding our yellow. We're going to have 2 of the 5, 3 left. Welcome in. We have some new individuals over on the tube. We're making, I call these lined harmony earrings. You just take beads and create an earring where they're all in a line. It makes it, because of the colors, it makes it a bold earring, which is what's popular for spring and summer 2026. It doesn't have to be heavy to be bold. It can be lightweight, very delicate, but the colors give it that bold look. All right, we got our third one. And if you missed any part, just know that it will be, the live will be available after we're done. I upload those so that you guys can watch it as a replay. You'll just find it underneath the live tab on the tube. Wrap that around. Yes, Patty, they are. We are on our last one. Okay, I told you wrong that you would add it because you add it to this one. What you would do is not, if it doesn't open, do not create all of them as a loop. At the very beginning, leave one to where you do both ends at the same time when you're finishing it here, okay? I did not think that one through until we're getting here to the end. I saw that. I was like, oh boy, he's got some strength there. We'll put that one on the earring wire. Let me take these other ones off and I will put them up so that you guys can see it better. It doesn't focus as well when I try to bring it to the camera when we got you pointed down. So let me point you all up. I know. I like the strawberry lemonade. I think that's what we can call these. La. I'll show you over here in just a moment. I'm showing TikTok right now. So that's what we have. There y'all are. Now, just think, everybody, this is one that is going to be awesome on any hair color pretty much, because look at that against dark. And you're going to see it against blonde too. And I never talk about reds because I don't know much. We don't have any reds in our family, so I don't know how that works. That's all I can't say. We have blondes and we have darks. And we mostly have dark. But look at, I'm excited about those. I didn't think to do this, but look at when you get it done. Is that not summer? I'm loving those. I do. I do. I know. I'm just like amazed. And I didn't even think about it when I poured it out. I saw 2 of them together and I'm like, okay, I'm doing that. Another that you're just like, oh, it worked out. And I don't normally keep my beads in a container like this at all. I don't wear dangles. That's the bad thing. I do not wear dangle earrings. and it's a very silly story as to why I don't wear dangles. So we had to wait until we were 11 years old and being able to take care of our own ears before my mom would allow us to have our ears pierced. And Sundays at our house was cleaning day, and my sister and I shared a room, and we had to clean the room together. It always ended up as a fight. And she forgot that I had my ears pierced. She grabbed this ear and she went to like grab the ear to pull it in the fight, and she pulled my earring. So this earring is lower than this earring because she pulled it. And so when I wear dangle earrings, I see it. Nobody else does. It's an OCD thing about me. Nobody else, if I wouldn't have told you the story, nobody's going to notice that they're different lengths. But because of that, I don't wear dangles. I could get my ear re-pierced. I just don't. I don't want to go through that. I don't even remember if it hurt or not. I was 11. There are other things that I remember about around that age that hurt. That I don't remember. So, this was the second pair of earrings we made in the live. I'm going to show you the other pair here quick, and then I'm going to show you. Yes, it stuck with me because they're not equal. Oh no. Yep, and so that's what it is. You get it. This is the other pair that we made during the live, and these are with the 8 millimeters. These are using 6 millimeters. For these earrings, I would say 8 and, doing the 6 and 8 millimeters will be great. If you have 10, I do not have 10 millimeter gorgonias because that hasn't been something that you guys have requested. But even the 10 millimeters, if you had gorgonias, would be fine because they are lightweight. If it's a glass bead, I would probably not do a 10 millimeter because it would be heavy and I don't want you guys having pulled ears. And here is the 8 millimeter one that I did of the gorgonias for an example. So those are the three I made today. I will tell you guys that what I envisioned when I thought these through, ooh, yowzer, that would hurt, Trisha. I wanted to use, those of you that know Stacy Ann on TikTok, she has created like a necklace where you take a piece of like 26 or 28 millimeter or 26 or 28 gauge wire, and you create, like she would use for the necklaces, a piece of chain and go around it and go through, and then this side would go around the chain and go back through. So it is, like you're saying, Patty, seamless. And I thought that's what I wanted to use, that technique for these earrings. But what happened when I did that is that they stack pretty much right on top of each other, and it doesn't give you that break that this technique does. You can do it. It's not easy because one end doesn't have a loop. So I was using a jump ring so I could open it and get it out, and it works. But when I did the whole earring, they just look like as if it were on a head pin. And that wasn't what I wanted in that. I wanted to have that break between the beads so that it looked floating in a way. So when she did that on chain, it looks floating, and I'm like, okay, what if we would do earrings where you have a piece of chain, it floats, and do the piece of chain? And so I want to play around with that and see what those come out. So I don't know if in one of our makers meetups this week, if I'm just going to play around and do that, and like we can talk about it as we're working on it. But that is something I want to try because I think that whole seamless look with a floating bead will be cool on an earring. And I was even thinking that the links of the chain would be different links and like have like not just one bead with the chain, but like have 2 or 3. I don't know. It's an idea that I thought in my head would look cool. So if you guys want, we have a makers meetup tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central, and we have another one on Friday. And I don't know if we'll do that then, but that's something I want to play with this week. I don't know. You guys tell me, do you think I'm wacko thinking that? I was going to say, Patty knows the technique I'm talking about. But it doesn't work when you're trying to put bead against bead. You do have to use the chain. That's what I did work. And that's the one thing I'm going to tell you guys. If I tried a technique and I didn't think it worked, I'm going to tell you. And if you guys can think of a way to make it work, please share. As we said earlier, we don't gatekeep. We're all here to learn together. So, all right. I am going to get going because I have another live, not here on these two. It is a different area that I am going to go live on at 9:15 tonight. It's something new I'm trying. If you look at my schedule, which is a pinned post here on TikTok, and it is a video over on the tube underneath the shorts, they will be there. Oh, good. Thank you, Rachel. I'm so glad you stopped in. We have a lot of fun here. The wire was clipped with a flush cutter. So it's got, like, when you look at a flush cutter, it sits here so that you set it on, like, and then it cuts it flush to what you're using. That's what I clipped the wire with.
Can I have one?
In just a moment, okay?
How many days
I will tell you after I get off, okay? I have an impatient little buttercup over here. Okay, thank you. All right, everybody. We'll see you either tonight on the other place, or we will be back at 2 o'clock. The makers meetup is on TikTok only, but the chat at 8 p.m. will be on both YouTube and TikTok. So I hope you guys have a great night, and we will see you later. Bye.